Hello and welcome to Random Pieces. Today I'll be sharing the absolute best chicken Alfredo recipe that I have ever found. Absolutely amazing. Hope you guys enjoy. Alright, I start off with boiling 3 boneless, skinless chicken breasts, good sized ones. You can use rotisserie chicken, leftover chicken, baked chicken, any type of chicken that you can shred up basically. Then I wash my pan, because this is my good pan and I gotta use it. Cooks everything nice and even. I add 2 sticks of butter, and I let that melt. If you have your flame on high, make sure you keep an eye on it, otherwise it is very easy for your butter to burn. It will happen very fast, and if you're asking who does that, well, sometimes you get sidetracked, okay? It happens. Then I add 16 ounces of Parmesan cheese. And since it's just that big craft container, really you don't need quite 16 ounces, but there's no point on leaving just a little bit in there, so I dumped the whole 16 ounces in there. Then I mix it all up nice and good. The butter will soak up real fast. You just kind of got to keep moving it around. If you let it sit too long, it'll either, burn, or it'll start to separate, and you don't want either of them. So stirring this is the key, and then I just kind of let it simmer on there and keep stirring it around for a while, because I find the longer you cook it in this part or let it heat at this part, the less grainy it'll be, because sometimes the grated Parmesan cheese can make the sauce a little grainy. So I just like this nice smooth texture here. And then I'll start with my next step. I have my chicken in the skillet over here, and I'm just kind of stabbing it to shred it up a little bit. This is where you season it. Whatever seasonings you want to put on this, that's your personal preference. Not really important. I just think boiled chicken's kind of bland, so I like to give it a little flavor. I use, basic chicken seasoning. And I like to keep this going and stuff. It breaks it up more, and it makes it so it's still hot when I throw it in the sauce. Then back to my sauce. Still going with the Parmesan cheese and the butter. So I'll mix it up a little more to mix it together. And then once I get this all mixed up, I'll add 16 ounces of cream cheese. I use Philadelphia cream cheese. And I just kind of smash it in there and let it heat up. And the sauce likes to separate at this part a lot, as you can see. I did not soften the cream cheese, but if you soften it a little bit before you throw it in there, it could help with that, but it'll still separate. Careful when you're mixing it up. If the butter splashes, it is very, very hot. Don't think I have to tell anybody that. After a while, you'll get that look, and then you'll add in 32 ounces of heavy whipping cream. And dump it all in there. And start mixing it up again. The butter keeps separating from the stuff, always does. It happens, just keep mixing it in there very carefully. And then again, I'll just let this simmer a while. And then after I'm satisfied with how it's looking, I'll start adding my seasonings, and I don't really measure when I add my seasonings. I just kind of dump it on a teaspoon. So here we go. Black pepper, I fill it about 2/3, I think. Looks like it. And then we use garlic powder, about the same amount. Sprinkle it all in there. Italian seasoning, 1 whole teaspoon. I got kind of a heaping one in there. Sprinkle it all in. Minced garlic, another teaspoonful. I make sure to grab some of the juice. I just use a little jar of minced garlic. You can see it on the stove. Dump it in there. Mix it all real good. Keep mixing, keep mixing, keep mixing. And I do keep mixing this for a while. Make sure it's all nice and blended. As I have the heat on like medium high to kind of help it along and cook the seasonings in. Then I start to add my chicken. Make sure it's still all nice and hot, and add it. And I just dump it all in there. Yeah, gonna use it all anyway. Then you mix the chicken in. Then after you get that mixed in is when you can try it a little bit to see how it is, if you need to add or anything else. I like mine to be kind of a little more garlicky, so turned out this wasn't enough for me, and I did add a little more garlic powder. Just a little bit. Start boiling the water. Let it come to a boil. Then I break my fettuccine noodles in half and add them in this little bowl because my kid does help me. Before that though, I mix up my sauce again because it's been sitting here boiling a while. And then after this, I shut off the flame on this. Or after I get my noodles in there, I shut off the flame on this and kind of let it sit to thicken up a little bit. And then my kid helps me add the noodles to the pan. Don't worry, I emptied out some of the hot water, added cooler water to it so it's not boiling and it wouldn't hurt him if it splashes. And I shut off the flame. And I kind of help him along with the noodles. But I find if I have him help me with a little part of dinner, it's just a little bit easier to get him to eat the dinner. So, I try to let him help me. He's almost got it. Don't worry. Yay. And then I turn back on the flame and let it heat back up and boil and everything. Mix it around in there. Back to a boil, actually cooking them. As you can see, I have my sauce off the heat on a burner that I haven't used, so that's nice and cool. But the sauce is still hot because that'll stay hot for a while. It's time we also throw your garlic bread and everything in. Then when my noodles are done, I drain them. Then I add a little bit of olive oil on them and mix it all in. That way, as the noodles are sitting there and I'm, getting my kids' plate ready and everything like that, the noodles don't stick together in one giant pile. They're all still movable and bendable. That was a great hack I learned. Sauce is nice and thick, looks delicious. There's a lot in that pan, as you can tell. I end up freezing half of it, and then we have dinner and at least 1 or 2 more dinners. There's the finished product. So nice, so good, delicious. Best chicken Alfredo recipe I've ever found.